This video will demonstrate how to configure the Sierra NMUS1 when you're adding it to an existing Sierra Summit. First, you want to make sure that you're using the latest version of software, so go to Help and About, and then double check that you're using version 4.0.482. Next, go ahead and plug in all the hardware and connect the probe. So you'll plug in the scanner to power, you'll connect the ultrasound probe to the scanner, and then you'll connect the scanner to the computer via the Thunderbolt cable. After that, go ahead and turn on the scanner. You should see both a blue and green light. The blue light means the scanner is powered on. The green light means it's connected to the PC. Once all that power is powered on, go ahead and make sure that the Sierra Summit base unit is also powered on, and then go ahead and follow the rest of these instructions. The first thing we'll need to do is add the device driver for the Sierra NMUS1. So we're going to go into Device Manager, and here, if you've plugged in the Sierra NMUS1, you should see, and this is just if you've plugged in for the first time, you should see under Other Devices this kind of alert next to this particular device here. What we'll need to do is right-click on this and select Update Driver, and then go to Browse My Computer, and you're going to browse to the C drive Cadwell Sierra Summit drivers. So if I was doing that manually, I'd go to Browse C drive, and then Cadwell, and then Sierra Summit, and then drivers. And then go ahead and hit Next, and that will update the driver. You should see this message here, and after that point, the driver should show up under Multifunction Adapters as a PCI Express DMA device. If you see that, then you know that the device driver is set up correctly. You can close the Device Manager. The next thing I would check is if you go into your Windows search bar and type in Thunderbolt, you can open the Thunderbolt Control Center app. This will tell you that the device is actually attached as a Thunderbolt device. Most computers, it automatically attaches. On occasion, you may need to go into Approved Devices and actually approve the device and tell it to always connect to that device. Now you'll want to go back to the Sierra Summit software and go to Help and About, and we're going to ensure that the device is connected and the firmware is up to date. So where it says NMUS1 firmware version, it should say 2021-5-1820. If the date is older than this, then you need to upgrade the firmware. If there's no date here and it says hardware not connected, then you've done one of the previous steps incorrectly. If this firmware was not up to date, it is, but if it wasn't, I would click Upgrade, and then I would select the file. So I'd go to Select, and it should take me right to the C drive Cadwell Sierra Summit firmware folder, where I double click on the firmware that I want, and then I click Upgrade. And then just follow the prompts here. When it's finished upgrading, then it's going to tell you to restart the NMUS device. So to do that, just go ahead and close the software, and then power off the NMUS1 device using the switch under the probe. Wait 30 seconds and then power it back on. The next step is to set up the graphics settings in the PC. To do this, you're going to type in Graphics Settings in the Windows search bar, and then open the Graphics Settings menu. Here we're going to, under Graphics Performance Preferences, we're going to choose an app to set preferences, and here we're going to browse to the Sierra app. So we're going to browse to the C drive, Cadwell, Sierra Summit, and then we're going to select the Sierra.exe and add. Now we're going to go to Options under the Sierra Summit software, and we're going to select High Performance. This is going to tell the hardware to always use the high performance graphics card when running the Sierra Summit software. Now we can return to the Sierra Summit application. It's always a good idea to go back to Help and About and double check that your firmware is up to date and the device is connected properly. It's a good way to know that it's connected. And then the next step I'm going to do is under Edit System Setup. Assuming you have a high-performance PC, from Cadwell that means it's the Dell Latitude laptop or the Nook 11 high-performance PC. Really, a high-performance PC is a PC that has kind of a gaming grade graphics card that allows for the advanced speckle reduction. So this feature right here, go ahead and enable that on any system that is using the high-performance PC with a high-performance graphics card. This is just giving you a warning message saying that if you don't have a high-performance PC, this is going to cause your computer to freeze up and slow down. This is a system setting, so that is not part of the preserve file. That'll need to be done on every system that has a NMUS1 with an appropriate computer. Now we're going to add the NMUS Plus protocol to the software, assuming that this was upgraded from a previous version that did not have that protocol. So to do that, we're going to go to File, Restore Selected. We're only using Restore Selected because we only want to bring in that one protocol. We don't want to restore any other settings from the default preserve file. Then we're going to browse to the default settings for Sierra 4.0. Those should be found in the install media, wherever you've kept that. And they're under the defaults folder. Double click on the Sierra 4.0 defaults. And the first thing I want to do is update the report generator with the latest tokens. So I'm going to go to Quick Report, and then I'm going to select Always Use Oldest. This will make sure that the new tokens don't overwrite any tokens that you may have changed in the past. So I'm going to check Always Use Oldest, and then I'm going to click Check All. And then I'm going to look at the Sierra templates, and if there's any templates here that I don't want added to my list, I can go ahead and uncheck those. Otherwise, I can go ahead and click Restore All. This is going to restore all the new tokens without overriding any of the current tokens that are in the system. Once we've done that, we can go back to the Sierra Summit tab, where we're going to check the NMUS Plus protocol, and we're going to hit OK, and that's going to add that protocol to our test protocol list. Now we're going to go ahead and just start a new patient. And the first thing that pops up should be the navigator. And in this case, we need to add the NMUS Plus tab to the navigator. There's the ultrasound tab here. This is for our previous generation ultrasound, the smartest. If you're no longer using the smartest, or you upgraded it and got rid of the smartest, we can go ahead and get rid of this tab, and then we're going to add the NMUS Plus tab. The NMUS Plus tab may already show up depending on what version of software you upgraded from, but we're going to go ahead and add the NMUS Plus tab to the navigator by going to the cogwheel. And in this case, I'm going to uncheck the ultrasound tab because I'm not using the smartest anymore. And I'm going to go to the NMUS tab, and I'm just going to go into the cogwheel here and configure it how I want it. So I want it to show the nerve tests, the muscle tests, and the structure tests. This is going to bring up all the different anatomy options for the NMUS Plus. And then in this case, I really prefer to only show the common nerves and muscles and structures, and that kind of filters my list down to just commonly used structures. And then hit OK. And then again, I'm going to hit OK here. That hid the ultrasound tab and brought up the NMUS Plus tab. If I go to that tab, you can see that all three lists are here: nerves, muscles, and structures, and you can see the common box is automatically checked. You can always uncheck that box, and you can filter using the graphical filters. You can also do that while they're checked. And now everything should be set up right, so we'll go ahead and launch into the ultrasound software just by either selecting a nerve or a muscle and hit OK. And then the last thing I'm going to do here is just change the font size here in the ultrasound window. You can see here that everything's running correctly as you see the green line going, the green arrow going across the CNA buffer at the top. I'm just going to make these icons a little bit bigger, so I'm going to go to the cogwheel and change the font size to large. And then at this point, everything's set up. Last step is going to go to Edit Save Test Parameters, so it remembers that setting. And then I'm going to go back to the home screen. And if you're using a CADLink preserve file, then you'll also want to go to File, Update CADLink Preserve File, If it's grayed out, it means you're either just using a local preserve file or you don't have rights to update that file. So you'll have to log in with a user that has the rights and then go ahead and make that change. And at this point, everything should be set up and running for NMUS1, and you can start using it in your workflow.